going to tell you. I mean, you can't really see it on screen from that angle, but I got the white marker this week. Really pops.
It pops, yeah. I grabbed it and I was like, wait, is this the right thing? But then I was like, well, they put it on the board, so surely it is. And I started writing. I said, oh, wow, this works really well.
Yeah. If only somebody in this room had good handwriting.
Anybody listening big on calligraphy? Anybody out there in the chat big? Oh, Emery says. Emery, all right.
Emery's big on. He's going to do wedding invitations for the next.
I forgot about his Etsy page.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
that's right. His mom does. Could she come in here on Wednesdays?
Yeah,
at like 12:30.
we would pay her like $10. I don't know why she wouldn't.
Yeah. All right. Emery's like Wisconsin just written all nicely. I like that. Okay. Spin that wheel, Steven.
All right. BYU.
Ooh. I'm looking at the other things on the board, so I'm not these are all great places to play, by the way. Part of me was kind of hoping you put one up there that was like slightly overrated. And I've been to half of these. Almost. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. So, yeah, I've been to half of them. I've not been to BYU. I really do want to go, especially since it'll be easy for me to get beer, since there's not going to be, lines anywhere.
That's true, yeah.
Found that out from Matt Brown. I'll just have him direct me to that tailgate, like, hey, where are the beer guys? He's like, oh, over there. Okay, good deal. Let's do that.
I didn't think about that. That's funny.
Yeah. So, but BYU, I'll put BYU. I'm going to put them 12th. But if you want to talk about a traveling fan base, I might put them first.
Yeah, I mean, the atmospheres there always seem great, especially at night. But there's some I do think there's something to be said, as great as BYU people are, for the more debaucherous fan bases.
Well, I mean, we're about to get into them.
And just what they're willing to do, what they're willing to say. I don't get the impression that BYU folks are, like, cussing you out, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I remember the first time I was like, oh, this is different. I went to TCU LSU at Cowboy Stadium. And I'm just walking harmlessly through LSU tailgates.
Yeah, you don't.
And they're all screaming tiger bait at me. I was like, this old lady got up in my face. Like, what am I going to do? I can't punch somebody's grandma. I guess I probably could if she looked like she was ready to throw down.
Yeah.
But it's just a different environment. It does really mean more. They say it, Paul.
It means more to them.
Yes.
Yes. I think that it means more to them than it does to, say, the Pac-12. I don't think it means more to them than it does to any of the other conferences. But the Pac-12, one of the things we've heard repeatedly from fans and from broadcasters and media people is, that like everybody in this league cares. Like, you don't go to a stadium. There's not in the Big 12.
There's no apathy.
Yeah, you go to the Big 12 and everybody cares. Now, they care to varying degrees. I think Baylor and TCU kind of have the same problem where they can go to not caring a lot faster than anybody else in the Big 12.
There's nobody to backfill. So, like, it's a smaller place. There's not because it's a private school, there's not as many people that are fans that aren't, like, associated with the school. So, if the team's bad, I mean, I think this happens everywhere. If somebody's bad, for the most part, people kind of check out.
Yeah.
TCU and Baylor cannot afford any sort of attrition.
Yeah.
When it happens, it looks really bad because the stadium just kind of empties out. These other places, it's like, oh, you don't want to go? Well, I'll go.
Yeah. Oh, tickets available? Great.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for 5 years.
Yeah, tickets are cheaper.
Yeah.
Great.
Good deal. Yeah, now I can take the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, I've heard that more often from people like, I couldn't go. Like, I've got 3 kids. I couldn't afford to go to the game a couple years ago when they were winning, and now they're down a little bit, and, we got a great deal. I'm like, okay, well, the kids got to go. That's what's important. But,
that's great. Yeah,
those 4 seats of the people who were mad are filled by kids who are going to have a good time no matter what's going on. So
that's right.
Yeah. All right, spin that wheel, Steven.
Wisconsin.
Oh, Camp Randall. I'll put it at 9th. put it 9th. Jump around.
Jump around's a cool tradition.
Yeah. Very cool tradition. They do well. Night games there are pretty legit. It's a place I'd like to go pre-November.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Jack just got back from Lambeau, and he wants to go back in December when it's like definitely subarctic conditions, to which I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Garrett says he would do that too.
Oh, hell yeah. I'd do that.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't have any interest.
I don't. I was at the Armed Forces Bowl, and it was.
I was outside at the Armed Forces Bowl.
Yeah.
But you like it, right? Like, that's your thing?
Yeah.
No.
The elements?
Lambeau it is.
See, that's where.
Are you going to be shirtless? Jack didn't love that question,
I'm
buddy.
trying to work the game.
Okay. I mean, he wants to.
So are you going to be shirtless? Here's the photographer. Yeah.
Didn't. I mean, doesn't change anything, right?
Who's this shirtless photographer giving Jordan Love a boost on the Lambeau Leap?
All right, spin that wheel, Steven.
Michigan. Big house.
3. Big, gigantic fan base, intimidating place to play. But lately it hasn't, like until like 2 years ago, it wasn't really all that daunting anymore.
Well, I feel like another thing that hurts them, and we talked about in segment 1, funny enough, they like 90% of the games there at noon.
Yeah.
I mean,
They
it's
love
just,
it, though.
Yeah, and I get they love it. But I don't know. I feel like it's, a rare 7 p.m. Like, we look at these
Well,
other
the Big Ten also, for some reason, as a group, doesn't like night games as much.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't like. I saw that like last year when it's like Peacock is like, hey, this game's going to be at 7:00, and they're like, the hell it is, and you're like, no, it is. Like, that's the deal. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I know it's the Midwest, but like, you don't have to freak out. Like, night games are fun.
You don't have to go. You don't have to retire at 8 p.m.
Oh gosh, I don't know. That's
Maybe they're just passed out from all the drinking.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
All right,
So,
Michigan number 3.
number 3. I might have wanted to rank them. I might change them later.
Okay, Ohio State, great.
I'll put them number 2. I think that's it's clearly like a really, really, really tough place to play in that nobody ever beats them there. Like, it just does not happen that often. They're so dominant in that conference. Look, their big loss wasn't at Ohio State this last week. It was at Autzen.
It was at Autzen.
So, yeah, they just don't lose there that much.
That's probably right.
That guy, dances out to dot the I and, gets them all fired up. Yeah, that place is intimidating.
When I was looking at this list, I was looking at a couple different lists, but one list that I came across was the EA Sports, list. And they were up high, and I was like, really? But then I thought about it more, and I was like, yeah, I guess I don't lose there. I don't think of their crowd as much, I guess, as just the players, right? Yeah. Like, man, you got to stop Marvin Harrison Jr. or whoever through the years. But, yeah, it's a tough place to play.
Yeah. By the way, I will tell you, you're going to be shocked at where I put some of these schools.
Really?
Yes.
I feel like I have number 1 in my head based on your life experience, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Tennessee.
4. Great venue on the water. Unbelievable band, unbelievable atmosphere. I saw an article that says it might be maybe historically the best, but again, it's been a long time since they won a national title or even an SEC title. So I'm docking them some points for lately it not being that intimidating to the opposing team. But yeah, it's a top 5 atmosphere. There's no doubt about that.
Do you like the checkered end zone?
I love it.
Garrett, yes or no?
I love it. And I love how they split the crowd up.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. They were the ones that threw objects at Lane a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I hate them for the
He
history.
had a golf ball, right?
I think it was batteries and stuff,
Yeah,
too.
he had a battery, like a golf ball. He brought it out and yeah, there you go.
Okay, random thing that you'll appreciate. Nate Bargatze,
Yeah.
fantastic comedian.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Vandy fan.
Yeah.
And he's always like, it's because I'm from Nashville. But I'm like, really? Are there Vandy people that don't
Yeah. No,
go to
it's
Vandy?
true.
Okay.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, no, I've experienced that myself.
Okay.
the city of Nashville is pretty evenly divided. I mean, like, at least not evenly divided. I mean, most of the people I meet are Tennessee fans, but there are a good chunk of Vandy fans that have because it's Nashville, and they just don't like the Vols. And there's no really other alternative for them.
Right, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I feel comfortable in Tennessee because they also hate the Gators.
So you kind of trauma bond there. That's good. Alabama.
Man, somebody's going to barbecue me for this. Well, I have
12 is taken. 9 is taken.
9 is taken. 10th. I've been to Alabama. Now, granted, I watched A&M get blown out there, but I really felt this sense of, of course, this is what happens here. Like, it just...
Their fans seem entitled.
It's very cool. Like, don't get me wrong. All these places are great. You're asking me to rank them.
Yeah.
So I'm ranking them. My experience...
Yes.
Stadium's beautiful. The area around it's great. Like, it's right, like... the frat houses like butt up to it, so it creates this great.
We're not saying it's like
camping
UAB
atmosphere. Yeah, I don't know, but I expected more oomph.
I think they might fall in the same category as Texas for me. I think it's better than Texas.
Yeah,
but it's just that idea of like, oh yeah, we're gonna win. I don't need to be allowed.
Yeah,
I don't, like I'm.
Yeah, it's kind of a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, save that one, Garrett.
Yeah.
He's got him at number 11. Texas A&M.
You can go back.
Oh yeah, Florida.
Florida. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4.
One's open. You have 2, 3, 4.
2, 3, 4. Florida's at 5. Florida is at 5. Which means, I'll tell you right now, Florida is definitely going to be ranked over FSU. Definitely ranked over FSU. I loved Oak Campbell Stadium. It's a great atmosphere. But Florida, Garrett, I think you'll echo the sentiment. I think the reason they haven't been, they could have been way worse over this period if it wasn't such a tough-ass place to play.
Oh,
it is so definitely loud there.
Yeah.
I would say it is the actual loudest place based on where it like the way it's constructed. Now, like, do they have the actual loudest fans? No, I think that lives at another place in this list, which we'll get to. But like the way the acoustics are in that place, it is loud. I've been there 4 or 5 times. More than that. But I've been there, and every time, like I've seen them play Tennessee there. I've seen them play Miami there. I've seen, obviously, play Florida State there several times. I went to a game where they played Alabama once. And neither team was really all that great at the time. Right. But, it was still just, and comparing it to Alabama, it was just, like your bones shake when you're in that stadium. So I give them a 5 on that because I think if they had a fan base that was – to the level of if they had the 15th, 20th, 25th best atmosphere, they might be way worse off than they are right now. I think I know home field advantage is a bit more of a mirage than it used to be, but I do really believe that they've won some games because it's so loud there. It's so loud.
That's good perspective there.
Yeah.
All right. Texas A&M.
Number 6. Unbelievable atmosphere. Maybe the best, most cohesive fan base when it comes to cheering, organization. The stadium, especially the new upgrades they've done to it, is fantastic. Parking is actually quite easy at A&M comparatively to other 100,000-seat stadiums. Great venue, but ultimately they get 6 because they have all that, and what do they have to show for it?
That's true.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, Iowa State could be on this list too, but they'd be low because what do you have to show for it?
Yeah, A&M is, it's a great place. I remember going to a Baylor A&M game at Floyd Casey. I think it was during the Mike Sherman era, and they got I mean, Aggies got whipped, and that was not a good Baylor team, right? And I was struck by like those fans were there and they stayed and they did all their little cheers, even in the midst of getting beat like 44-9. So I do think the loyalty factor is impressive, but I get what you're saying there.
Yeah.
All right, Penn State, Paul, and we have number 1, number 7, number 8, and number 11.
I'll give them number 7. I love the whiteout games. I think it's great. It's a great spot. But again, ask James Franklin how that's worked out for him.
Oregon.
That's number 11. Great spot. Awesome. But, what are we talking about here compared to some of these other ones? Right?
Florida State.
Okay,
we got 8 and 1 left.
8. Florida State has a little bit of that entertain me, boys. Go, entertain me.
Yeah, do your thing.
Please. And look, we have a great fan base. We travel well. We do all those things. It was great to be with a bunch of us in Dallas. Like, we really travel well to Dallas in spite of, the crap storm that we're in. But they really do, especially this year. They've taken out 20,000 seats to remodel. So it's definitely not intimidating this year.
Right.
If you look at the one side of the stadium, it's just like nothing. Like, there's like this row and then nothing. They didn't even put a tarp over it. It's just cement.
It's just gone.
Because when you look at it on TV, it looks like, oh, did all these people decide en masse not to go in this section? Because you can't really tell that there's no seats there. It's just cement. So you're looking like, oh, man. But now 1 in 5, it would certainly look like that. So anyway, yeah, I'll put them at 8.
All right, LSU.
Garrett, numero uno.
Absolutely.
I was not about to get in a fight today. But no, I really do believe this. Like, there's
At night, because that day game, man, it's bad.
I went there in a day game one time. It still was pretty awesome. So, I would say LSU's number 1. Like, LSU atmosphere overall. Although the corn dog smell is very weird, but it's all part of the ambiance. I mean, the thing is, like, when they say, why does it smell like corn dog? It's because so many people are frying things. Like, most people don't bring deep fryers to stadiums. No. It's usually like smokers or barbecues or something. No, like, you'll walk past and there's like, we're having a fish fry over here. Like, this is what they're doing. And you're like, really? You're going to risk a grease fire? Like, what do you do at Thanksgiving? You fry a turkey, right? Well, it's November. Like, I don't know. Like, what's going on here? Like, what is this even a question? Plus the fact that whatever white lightning that they're drinking all day long too. I mean, we're talking about, there's a collection of like people who have been drinking beer all day long. There's a people who've been drinking whiskey all day long. And then there's a larger subsection of the drinkers that are drinking something that they made themselves.
And, full moonshine.
Yeah. Or like, I remember I went with a couple friends. We drove over to Baton Rouge and went to the game. We're walking through, and everybody was real nice to us because we were neutral. Like, we weren't. It was LSU and Tennessee. That's who we went to see. I had no dog in the hunt. I mean, I was kind of rooting for LSU because we were there, and I don't really have any emotion for Tennessee. So I was like, yeah, well, we'll do that. And so we're walking in, and people like, hey, hello, and then somebody was like, hey, here, have a drink. And I was like, all right. And they gave me this like purple Kool-Aid Hunch Punch stuff. And I had 2 of them. And I got to tell you, I was feeling no pain. None. Like, even one of those things like, hey, you just got stabbed. I've been like, did I?
That's crazy.
That's crazy, man.
Kickoff's in an hour.
You got a dart in your neck. Like, that kind of a thing. That was how it is. Like, oh, go over there. This guy will stitch you up, and he'll take you to Baton Rouge Memorial after the thing's over. Other stadiums I would put that qualify in the list of great: Oklahoma, Gaylord Family Stadium is awesome. Boone Pickens is really good.
Boone Pickens.
They do a really great job there. I don't want to leave anybody out. I'm just trying to think of places I've been that I can attest to.
Have you been to Morgantown?
I've not been to Morgantown. I really, really want to go to Morgantown. So I need to get to I've been to half these on the list. I've been to LSU. I've actually been to Florida State. I've been like 2 of these I've been to more times. Like I could never go again, and I've still been more than most people, right? Florida I've been to, Tennessee I've been to, and Alabama I've been to. But I have not been to BYU, Penn State, Ohio State, Wisconsin, or Michigan. But I do plan on getting there. So, yeah, I would and here's the good news. I have a wife that'll be like, hey, do you want to go to like the Michigan Notre Dame game? And she'd be like, yeah, sure, I'm up for that.